all senior friends.
Thank you for coming today. This is a group of 7th and 8th grade students that have worked the past week with Mr. Brian McNeill, who flew in from Scotland as a part of a Scottish partnership grant brought to us through, is that okay? Yes, by a lovely friend, Diane. And today we'd like to thank you for coming to the concert, and we'd appreciate it if you would listen carefully and enjoy the performance. Thank you.
Mrs. Gindler. Okay, for those of you who have never seen me before, my name is Brian McNeill, and I come from Scotland. A lot of your families may have come from Scotland several hundred years ago. Scotland is a place that has wonderful music, very distinctive music, and some of that music is so good that I come every year to bring it to my friends here in Missouri. And I'm going to do something very unusual because people don't usually do this before a concert. But I think there are several things that we need to applaud here before we actually even hear and know the music played. And the first thing that we are going to applaud is the commitment and the work ethic and the sheer amount of hard work everybody on this stage has done this week. They have been absolutely fantastic. Would you please give the Pattonville Scottish Snappers a huge round of applause? What we're going to do is we're going to have a little demonstration of Scottish music from me, and then after that you're going to hear these guys play, and I hope I entertain you enough. I'll try and explain something about the music as we go. Before we do that, there are a few people I really would like to thank, and I want you to give a huge round of applause, please, to Mrs. Gindler and Mrs. Feeney, because these people have worked so hard. I want you to give a round of applause to Diane McCullough from the Scottish Partnership for Arts and Education. Wonderful, wonderful. And we also don't want to forget the Regional Arts Commission, the Missouri Arts Council, and the Artworks and National Endowment for the Arts. These people have all helped the considerable cost of bringing me across here to teach in the schools here in Missouri. So please give them a round of applause. Okay. Scottish music's a strange beast. If you had come 50 years ago to listen to Scottish music, you would have found it very, very difficult in Scotland itself to find people who could still play it. Everybody was playing pop music. Everybody was playing the kind of music that you would hear on the radio. And our own music was dying because people thought it was old-fashioned. And in fact, that has all changed now. Largely due to a community of maybe 100 musicians. People like me, people who decided this music was too good to die. So we revived it. We started playing it in different kinds of bands. We started giving it different treatments. And we started thinking about it a little. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you 3 different instruments in order that you can understand some of the variations that we have made with Scottish music. The first one is the violin, right? Thank you. Give it a round of applause. Now in Scotland, please don't talk. In Scotland, when we're playing a violin for this kind of music, we call it a fiddle. There is no difference between a violin and a fiddle. They're both exactly the same instrument. They're just played slightly differently. And what you call it really isn't important. But it's a very, very simple instrument. You think about it. Most people these days, when you ask them, where does music begin? They say, oh, music, it begins in my stereo system, or it begins on the radio, or it begins in my headphones. In fact, music is made still by people. Music is made by very talented and very committed people, like the people surrounding me up here. And for a violin, and for any of the stringed instruments you see up here, these are very, very simple bargains. They're a bargain between wood and wire. And it's all regulated by the humblest of lawyers, the hair from a horse's tail. And it is very important to remember that real people make real music. And if you walked out of here with nothing else today, I would like you to walk out with the idea that music is something that every one of you could make for yourself. Every time you sing a song, when you're in the shower or when you're waiting on the bus queue, every time you actually find yourself humming a tune that you've heard on the radio, you're making music. And that is one of the last great things that is left to us that nobody can take away from us. We can make music, we can make art, we can make things that still matter in the world. So I'm going to play you some very, very simple Scottish tunes, simple but rather beautiful. The first one is called Coylesfield House. The names don't particularly matter. If anybody's really interested in the names, come and see me later. Coylesfield House, followed by The Boy Gardener, followed by Jenny Nettles. Jenny Nettles is an interesting tune because nobody knows who Jenny Nettles was. She might have been a beggar lady who lived in the ditches, or she may have been somebody who worked with herbs and could heal people. After that, we're going to play a tune called The Fallen Angel, then we're going to play The Bottom of the Punch Bowl, and then after that, I don't know what I'm going to play. So we'll see, okay? Because there is a large element of spontaneity in this kind of music as well, as my friends here will tell you, because we might play you, if you're very good, if you're a good audience, we might play you something that we have been fooling around with yesterday. We might just do that, yeah, guys? What do you think? Think we're going to do it? Only for nice one, okay? So here we go. Coylesfield House. so much. All musicians like to hear applause. That's something that we're very partial to. This is an electric instrument. I always wanted to play a cello, but the idea came to me too late. And anyway, well, it's very difficult to get that spike through your neck. But I always wanted to play one, so a friend of mine who makes electric and acoustic violins came to me one night at a concert and brought me this instrument. Now, all of you, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes, keep them tight shut. Shh. You've got to be quiet for me. Shh. Open them when I tell you. last thing. Anybody know what this is? No, it's not an accordion. Yes, exactly. That's what it does, but what is it called? It's called the concertina. And these were instruments that became very, very popular, particularly with people who used to play stringed instruments, because the one thing you don't have to do with this instrument is tune it, because all the notes are made for you. Underneath each one of these little silver buttons here are a couple of little tongues that vibrate when the air goes through them. And this instrument came to us around about the 1880s, became really popular around about 1910, 1920. And the sad thing that has happened now, this concertina originally belonged to the Salvation Army. You all know about the Salvation Army, yeah? And you've seen the Salvation Army, I don't know if they do it here, but occasionally in England and in Scotland, they have concerts just before Christmas on the street corners to raise money for charity. All right? And they usually do that with big brass instruments. Well, if you had seen them 100 years ago, they wouldn't have used brass instruments. They would actually have gone into all the pubs and taverns, and they would have had a band playing these instruments. And this instrument was made in 1923. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my wife Jacqueline, who very kindly lets me play it. And when this instrument was originally made, it cost a guinea. A guinea is 21 English shillings, and that is worth today, well, if it was to translate in exactly the same money today, that would be about $1.50, right? Now these instruments have started to be collected as antiques. And the one thing that happens to things when they are collected as antiques is the price goes like that. And the price goes, I would hate to tell you how much this is worth. It is a ridiculous amount of money, and it means that people, dedicated people like my young friends here, who would like perhaps to have one of these instruments to learn to play, simply can't afford them. There are only two, these are entirely handmade. It takes a single man 4 months to make one of these instruments, okay? There are 2 people left in Great Britain, in a country of 60, 70 million people who make these. Only 2. So I find it my duty to keep this instrument alive as much as possible. And I think it's a very beautiful little instrument. It's like having a little accordion on your lap, or an organ. So I'm going to play you a couple of tunes here now, right? Here we go. you like to hear, my friends, the Pattonville Scottish Snappers? Sorry, to be honest with you, that doesn't sound as if you really wanted to hear them. Do you want to hear them? Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? We're going to take a little second to tune because music should always be in tune. And then after that, we're going to play you 4 tunes. The first tune is a tune that's used in church in Scotland. It's used to christen babies. And it's called By Cool Siloam's Shady Rill. It's a very slow and very beautiful tune, and it's what we call a slow air. The second tune is what we call a SPAE. That comes from the northeast of Scotland. Very jagged rhythm. Then after that, because sometimes traditional music belongs to all of us. It belongs to people who work down mines. It belongs to people who work on boats. It belongs to people who dig in the fields. It also belongs to children. It belongs to 6-year-old kids in Scotland. How many of you here have ever played a game called hopscotch? Right, okay, great. You know, those of you who have never seen it, oh, forgive me, I don't look very good doing it, but it goes like this. You know, you do that, and almost always, when people are playing hopscotch, they make up words. And they make up words to tunes they know. So, in Scotland, we have this wonderful SPAE, which we're going to play, called Bonnie Lass Came Out of the Bun. But the children in Glasgow, who were very often 5 or 6 years old, they decided to make up different words, and the different words came to Love Will You Marry Me. So I'm going to sing that with my friends, right? And then after that we're going to play the Irish reel that came out from Bonnie Lass Came Out of the Bun, which is also called Love Will You Marry Me. After that we're going to finish with a tune called the Colrana Reel. So please, give us a little silence to tune, and then we will do this for you. I mean, you have to forgive me turning my back on you, but I need to face my friends in order to direct them. Okay? 1, hips up. 1, 2, 3, 4. question is, have they been nice enough for us to play the last night?
Well, they have, it's just, I'm not so good at it.
Okay, hands up, those who said it'd be nice enough. Hands up. Oh, well, we have a majority. Okay, right, you're going to reluctantly join us. Okay, this is something you may have heard me play before last year. But these guys, we had a week to learn that last set, which is not a lot of time for what they did. They did it in 3 days. Right? That's really So, we decided that we were going to learn a little tune, not from music, by ear. Please remember one thing, 90% of the world's music has never been written down. Very important. So we learned this tune by ear, and it's a tune from the Shetland Islands. And it's very simple. In this one, you can hear a pig looking for potatoes in our instruments. Okay? And it's called The Sow's Lament of the Tatties. Right, so here we go. We're going to play this for you twice, and then after that, we're going to leave you because you've been such a wonderful audience to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.